The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
By tomorrow, I will rule the world!
You think he's gone? He's not gone. That's the whole point. He's never gone.
Is this some radical new therapy?
You see?
Well, I must have not been paying attention.
Whoa! What happened? All right. Are we still live? What happened? All right. Very good. Hey, how you guys doing? We're live, so we're just going to blow right through it. My name's Tom Duggan here at the Paying Attention Podcast, high atop Two Guys Smoke Shop at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. And we normally do our show on Thursdays. However, this week, because of the COVID-19 hysteria, the whole country was closed a week before our annual bash. We normally have our anniversary bash, our 16th anniversary for the Valley Patriot. We started the paper in 2004, and every year we have this big bash where we give awards to hero police officers, hero firefighters, hero veterans. We also give out a ton of scholarships, and we really work the room. We usually have the firefighters relief in, and we sell raffle tickets, and we do 50-50s, and we take money from the door. And usually we try and take a little bit of all of that money, and we add it into the scholarship, so whatever has been donated, it's a little more. So this year it's not as much as we normally give because we don't have an actual event to charge people and do raffles and all that. So what the Bash Committee decided to do is have a special scholarship presentation here at the podcast studio this year, and we've invited almost all of the kids are here, and some of the donors are here. So before we get to that, I want to thank the Bash Committee. Where is my list here, Chris? Here it is. I want to thank the Bash Committee. To my left, Chris Eldridge, who's literally my left hand every year when we do this. He shows up at the office a week before the bash and says, "Okay, what's not getting done?" And then he takes that task, whatever somebody was supposed to do, they didn't do it, they forgot, whatever. He goes out and he makes sure he gets it done. Brenda Rossi to his left, or to his right if you're watching on the podcast. Brenda is also one of the people who runs our Bash Committee and makes sure that things get purchased and make sure that people are where they're supposed to be the night of the event. And so we appreciate her. We also appreciate the other Bash Committee members who are not here. We have Nancy Gorman, who's also a member of the Bash Committee, who went out and got the food, picked up the food for us today. We have, I keep wanting to say Red. I don't know why I keep wanting to do that. Sharon Moran, who picked up and paid for, by the way, the plates and the cups and the plastic utensils and the napkins and all of that stuff. And so we didn't have to pay her back for that, which is great. We appreciate that. Also want to thank other members of the Bash Committee, Rick Belanti, who every year DJs for us for free at the Firefighters Relief Inn. Also, he kicked in for one of our scholarships today. I want to thank Maria Fiato, who did all of our certificates today. And really, like sometimes 3 in the morning, I'll call her and say, "Listen, can you get out of bed? I need you to do something for me right now." And she does, so I appreciate that. And Denise Donlin, who always helps us with our raffles at the Bash every year. Also want to thank Methuen Police Chief Joe Solomon, who donated $250 for the food today. And since we only spent about $150 on the food, we're going to take the additional $100, give each kid a $20 gift card to JG's Ice Cream. JG's Ice Cream here on Broadway in Salem, New Hampshire, and on I think it's Lowell Street, Methuen, right? Lowell Street in Methuen. We love the Jafrita boys. They're very good to us. We also want to thank Eugene Smith. Every year, I'm president of the Lawrence Lions Club, and Eugene sits on my board, and he's a 1958 graduate of Lawrence High School. He's also a Korean War veteran. And Eugene came to me a couple of years ago and said, you do this Bash scholarships for the Lawrence High kids. If I gave you $1,000, would you gear that scholarship toward a kid that's in junior ROTC that's going to go serve our country? I thought it was a great idea. So since then, our scholarship for the Lawrence High School has gone to a junior ROTC kid going into the military. And so we want to thank him. He can't be here. He's in the hospital. He's really not feeling well. And so our prayers for him and his family that he gets better, not only so he can show up at my Lions meetings and take the votes that he needs to take, but also he's a good friend and he's a good guy, and we really like Eugene. He started a nonprofit called Military Connections, and that's where his donations come from. Also want to thank Ben Kitchen, our fine producer, and Lisa Williams from AFC Urgent Care, who made 2 donations for scholarships today. She also offered to pay for the time today for the studio because it cost me time to rent the studio to do the show. And before the show, I asked Dave, I said, did Lisa give you a check? And she offered to pay for it. And he said, no, today's on me. I love what you guys are doing with the scholarships. I don't want a dime to come from any of the scholarship money. Give as much money as you can to the kids. So thank you to Dave. Let's give him a round of applause. And everybody else. Sounds like we have a real studio here today. I'm getting all excited. Wow. So let's start off with so our first scholarship tonight today we're going to present. It always feels like night when we do this for some reason. The first scholarship we're going to present today is let's pull it up, make sure it's here. Who's got it? You'd think I'd be ready, right? I sat here and did all this stuff. Oh, thank you. Is for the Michelle DeLuca Benedetti Scholarship. Can we have Jake Nicolosi and Ken DeLuca and the DeLuca family? Anybody here? Just come right up onto the stage. Jake, you're going to sit here, and we're going to line the DeLucas behind us, if that's okay. Be great. This will be a good time to thank all of our sponsors, JG's Ice Cream, AFC Urgent Care, Century 21. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Jake, why don't you have a seat here? Excellent. How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
You're going to put on that. Oh, you can use that. Just use the microphone so people at home can hear you. You just pick the mic up and hang on to it. There you go. Sorry. All right. So let me just pull up my scholarship thing here for the Ken DeLuca. So Ken DeLuca is a friend of mine, and I went to school with his sister Michelle. Michelle passed away last year. I can't believe it's been over a year. Last May, right, Ken?
Yes.
Yes. So she passed away last May, and he came to the office and said, like many of these scholarships, I want to start a scholarship in my sister's name to remember her. We want to do this every year for the bash. We reached out to Scott Wood. Scott Wood is here. He's not here. We reached out to Scott Wood, who's a member of the Haverhill School Committee, and we asked him if he could find a kid from Haverhill High School that would qualify for this scholarship. I said, I want a really good kid. I want a kid that's really involved. And he picked Jake. So Jake, this scholarship is, believe it or not, it's changed over the last couple of days. We've got a few extra donations. The total on this scholarship is $2,135 for your college education from our donors. And please don't thank me. I didn't kick any money in. I just basically coerced all of my friends to give money because I'm poor. I have no money. So all of my friends have money. I'm like, no, you guys have money. You have to kick in for this scholarship. So I'm going to give you a check here for $1,935, another check for $100, and that should total $2,135 for your college education. And our Maria gave, what's that? Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again? Do your math again. I do my math again? I have $2,135. 2,135. That's correct. Yep. And a certificate that we usually put these in a frame, but we didn't really have a lot of time. We put this whole thing together in like 10 days. It's just insane that we're even here. So I'm going to present this to you, and I just want to ask you where you I know you're graduating from Haverhill High School. Where are you going to, and what kind of courses and classes you're going to take? What's your major?
I'm going to Johnson Wales University.
You got to pull that up really close.
I'm going to Johnson Wales University next year, and I'm going undecided, but I'm leaning towards criminal justice.
Criminal justice, and that was one of the requirements for the Michelle DeLuca Scholarship. Ken wanted it to go to someone that was going either into social work or criminal justice because that's what his sister loved. I also understand that you are the winningest. I don't know what winningest is. Mm-hmm. You are the winningest wrestler in the history of Haverhill High School. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, like the most wins at Haverhill High history.
Right. Mm-hmm. And are you captain of the wrestling team?
Yeah, I was.
You are. Mm-hmm. Can you just talk about that a little bit? Well, how was your year with wrestling? Undefeated?
No, I had 2 losses.
2 losses? Can you give me that back? Only winners here on the Paying Attention podcast.
But I ended up winning the New Englands. So.
You ended up winning what?
The New Englands.
Oh, the New Englands, the New England tournament.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. So what do you like to do? What do you like to do for fun?
I just like to hang out with my friends a lot. I like to fish, and I work out.
You like to fish? Where do you fish?
Just all around Haverhill.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of
ponds.
a lot of good ponds in Haverhill.
Yeah.
I'm a fisherman myself, so now I'm gonna have to go into Haverhill and see what kind of ponds you guys have for that. What have you done? Community service. What kind of community services have you done for
Well, I help
volunteer
out,
work?
I wrestle with little kids. Like I teach them and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So
I
just
help 'em
mentoring
eat.
little kids because you're the head guy, right? You're the head wrestling guy at Haverhill High, so a good mentor to have. Why don't you pass that over to Ken behind you? Ken, can you talk a little? This isn't what we wanted for the bash. Normally, we have the person who started the scholarship get up and talk a little bit. So I just wanted you to explain to people a little bit about why you did this for your sister, and tell people a little bit about who Michelle was.
Well, I think for that, I'm going to pass this over to Jonathan, her son.
Yeah, introduce everybody who's here.
This is Ryan. This is Jonathan. This is my daughter, Jessie. Ryan and Jonathan are Michelle's sons.
Okay.
And I'm going to pass this to Jonathan.
All right, great.
Click on stretch. I don't want to snap this. Okay. Ben
don't pay for it. Don't worry.
So yeah, like Uncle Kenny said, my name's John. This is my brother Ryan, and Michelle was our mom, and she passed away last year after a pretty long battle with metastatic breast cancer. She dedicated her whole life to helping children, helping her community. She was a social worker for the Department of Children and Families in Massachusetts for 21 years, was a supervisor in the Haverhill office for her last few years there. So she really centered her whole career around helping people, getting involved in the community. And so, along with, our uncle, we've been trying to do our best over the last year and a half, which is really crazy. That's been that long already. To further that kind of goal, her life's work in any ways that we can. And so this was a really good way for us to do that. And, the money that was contributed and everything like that is just really remarkable. And we're really proud and happy to be able to present the scholarship today because it obviously means a lot for, not just for our family, but I think that it's going to mean a lot for...
Can you pull up her picture?
It's going to mean a lot for, the kids and the families that we help out as we go along with that. So I won't say too much more than that, but it's pretty
That's
important.
right. John, why don't you say anything about your mom?
Sure. I mean, she was a pistol, that woman. So this world was...
So she hasn't changed since childhood then, apparently.
No,
I knew her as a kid. You knew her as a grown-up.
This world was lucky to have her, and, we miss her a lot, but we're trying to keep her, her legacy alive. So any way we can do that, we're happy Jake's getting the scholarship. Heard good things about him from one of his coaches and one of our good friends, Billy Mears. So, yeah, we're just happy that her legacy lives on. So.
All right, great. Thank you. Lenny Mira, State Representative from Newbury, why don't you come up? He wanted to kick in for this scholarship. That's why you were looking at the math and you thought it was wrong. We have State Rep Lenny Mira, who comes to our bash every year. Usually he sits in the back. He doesn't want to be recognized. He's like, no. So every year we make sure we give him a microphone and we bring him all the way up. We make him read something really embarrassing. It's hilarious. If you want to go on YouTube and look at any of our previous bashes, it's pretty funny. Why don't you come on up here and you can give Jake your check. Don't lose this, Jake.
Tom? Oh, happy to be here, and it's an honor to take part in this. I think I told you before I got elected, I was in the trades for a while. At a family-owned construction company. I was in real estate. Always had a hard time. The hardest part of the job was hiring good people to fill job openings. And even now, in the midst of a pandemic, with record high unemployment, we're still having a hard time hiring people in the trades. Good, qualified, trained people, very difficult to find. Wow. So you're doing a great thing here because Whittier puts out some of the best graduates around. I speak to the superintendent every year. They measure something called positively placed. And that means that a student goes on to be to go into the job or to go to further their education. It's 99% positively placed. Mm-hmm. So they graduate Whittier ready to go to work, and that's something our local businesses rely on quite a bit. And Whittier is kind of a victim of its own success. They actually run out of spaces sometimes, and sometimes there's a waiting list to get in to that fabulous school. But we made some great investments. A couple of years ago, the governor showed up to show the new machine shop that we have, all computerized equipment, completely modern. We hope that'll train the next generation of machinists, and that will help businesses come to Massachusetts, stay in Massachusetts, and grow their jobs here. So happy to help with this, Tom.
Great. So if you want to give Jake your check, and I believe zooming in, I don't think the audience can see it, but I believe zooming in, it's not actually Zoom, it's some other program, but we're now using Zoom as an adjective, right? Is Al Velo, who started this scholarship. Al came to my office a few years ago. He owns Heat Quest. He graduated from Whittier. And he came to my office and said, I know you're doing scholarships. I know your bash is in a couple of weeks. Is it too late to add a scholarship? This was, I think, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Al, are you there?
I am here.
All right, Al.
I'm here.
So Al is the one who started the scholarship, and I just wanted to give him an opportunity to say a few words if you wanted to. Al, thank you for zooming in.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. I think this is great what you do for everybody, especially the kids, just furthering that education. And, it's an honor for me to be able to try and help a kid move on. I know what Whittier Tech did for me. I'm on a job right now. I have my own business. I never would be where I am today doing what I do without the guidance through Whittier Tech and the teachers that I had. So, anything I can do to help further somebody else from Whittier, absolutely. I'm all in. So that's why we do this.
Al, thank you so much. Give your business a free plug. We love Heat Quest, and I appreciate that you guys always support us every year. You give money and you ask for nothing in return.
I don't want a dime from anything. I work for Community Action as a contractor. I help low-income families. This is my job. I love what I do, and I'm blessed what I do. And I'm blessed that I can help.
All right, now we're going to have you stay on the line because you actually donated to another scholarship. So you can either go have a sandwich and come back if you want. Take a shot.
I'm gonna hang out with you.
All right, thank you very much. Jake, thank you so much. I just want to let everybody know who donated for this scholarship. Ken DeLuca gave us $1,000, then gave us another $100 from the tables because we didn't have an event. We got a $35 donation this morning from April Winters. Lenny Mera, our state rep, gave you $100. Rick Belanti, our DJ who works for free for us every year, gave $100. Celine Izzy Berthium gave $300. And then the week after COVID hit, Kenny and I decided we were going to have a poker tournament to try and get this scholarship up a little bit. And we raised $500 in a poker tournament. And thank you to Salvatore's Restaurant for allowing us to have it there. So your total is $2,135. And I appreciate you coming in. And make sure you and your family's here, right? Do you want to have them come up? Do you want to come up and say hi, or it's up to you? Say it again. I'm the principal of the school's here. Why don't you come up? The principal of the school. Come on. I mean, they brought everybody. The neighbor, the mailman. Everybody's here today. So.
Tom, the donors are on the certificate too, right? The list of donors?
I can't hear him. Try it again.
The list of donors is on the certificate?
Yes, but I still can't hear him. He's still not. Okay. So where's the principal? Oh, he's not here yet? All right, okay. Well, let's get Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, how proud are you of Jake? We looked over a lot of kids that got nominated. Scott Wood actually picked him from the Haverhill School Committee, but I'm glad that he did. It looks like he's probably the best qualified kid here.
We're very, very proud. Can't wait to see what he does in college.
Dad?
Yes, I'm a man of few words.
Man of few words. And the principal won't come up. You're not going to come up? He's just, okay. So, what's the principal's name?
Glenn Burns.
What is it?
Glenn Burns.
Principal Glenn Burns from Whittier Tech. Maybe next year we can get you to the bash. That'd be great. I'm sorry, Haverhill High. I'm already talking about Whittier, right?
We're all very proud of Jake, his accomplishments for wrestling that and in the classroom.
Right. So I had Al Velo come on for the Whittier Scholarship, and we're doing a different scholarship. I knew I was going to screw one thing up today. Let's hope that was it. So, thank you guys for coming up. If you want to do a group photo, we can do it in front. If you have to leave, we can do it now. If you don't mind hanging out until afterwards, we can do it after. I'll leave it up to you guys. Just let me know which one, so I know whether we need to do it now or not. Can you guys hang around, or are you gonna? Oh, they're gonna hang around. Great. Yes. Oh, you guys can. All right. So let's just do it now. We'll turn this over to Chris if his mic is on, and we'll go down and we'll do a quick picture, and then come back and we'll do Whittier, and then we'll just pretend we didn't talk to Al. We'll do it all over again.
Yeah, we'll do it all over again.
Yeah. I had Al listed on my.
Okay, while Tom is taking pictures, we just want to start giving a story of how Tom's. Oh, short. Tell the stories of how Tom started giving the scholarships. So, I volunteer with the Lawrence High School Alumni Association. I graduated in 1982, which seems so long ago. So what we did is we weren't getting a lot of coverage in the Tribune. So knowing that Tom is a Lawrence High graduate, I reached out to him and asked him if he would cover our event. Every year we have a scholarship banquet in May where we have the families and friends of the graduates come in. We have a meal and we give out scholarships from donations. I told this to Tom. He said he would love to cover the event, and then he surprised me. And he said, well, can I give a scholarship? Of course. And he said, well, I can scrape up $100. And I said, well, that's great. So that first year, Tom gave $100 to one Lawrence High student. And that's interesting in itself because that student went to Arizona State. And when he got his first report card, he emailed it to Tom. And he stayed in touch with Tom. And we'll continue after. We'll pick up where we left off.
All right. You could have kept going if you wanted.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, sure. So thanks for the note. I don't know why I screwed up that Whittier Scholarship.
It's okay.
So, all right. So who's next here? All right. Great. All right, Al. Let's just do this again and pretend we didn't do it before. So Al came to my office one day and said, "Can we have Lauren Fitzgerald and who's ever with you here?" And Lisa Williams. We love Lisa Williams. Someday I'm going to get her husband to leave her so I can marry her. That is my goal in life. The best ones are always taken.
Oh,
Hi, Lauren. Hi. How are you? I'm good. All right, we'll let you use this. All right, there you go. Hi, Lauren.
Thank you. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are
Good.
you?
If it wasn't on TV, it didn't happen. So, so as I said before, Al came to my office and said he wanted to start a Whittier Scholarship, which is great, and especially for a guy who spends most of his time helping the community. And every year, I think this is our third year, Al. Isn't this our third year doing Whittier?
Yep.
All right. So we're significantly higher than it was last year, which is great. Giving you this scholarship is Lenny Mira, a state rep, who I think he just left, but he gave me your check. Al Valo, who's on the line, who gave $500 for this scholarship. My good friend Mike Thibodeau, who I go shooting with, gave $200. Steve Spalding, who helps us with the homeless at the TMF Family Dinner for the Homeless every week, gave $100. Frank Quintana from Quintana Building Supplies gave us $100 for this scholarship. And Lisa Williams, is she here? Okay. And so Lisa Williams gave us $1,000 for this scholarship. Now, we don't have Lisa's check. She's going to mail it to you. But I want to give you these other two checks. Here's your check from Lenny Mira. Here's a check for the balance between what Lisa's going to give and what the total was. So there's about $1,000 and your certificate. Tell us, Lauren, you went to Whittier. What was it like going to, especially as a girl, going to a trade school?
I loved it. My family has gone there in the past. My dad, my brother, and sister have all been graduates from the school. So it was just something that I was so used to. And then I finally went myself. And it's overwhelming when you first go because there's all these different jobs that are just available to you.
Mom and Dad don't want to come up and be seen on TV? No, you don't want to be seen on the...
They're not shy. What are they?
You can come on up if you want. Sure, sorry. My job is to embarrass people. That's what I get paid for.
You're so good at it.
I am good at it, too.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Don't worry about it. And they have a ton of different fields all the way from carpentry to what I took, which was dental assisting. And I loved every ounce of it. I've seen girls go into carpentry. I've seen girls go into electrical. So it's really cool to see.
So now I understand you're going to be you're going to use this money to work on your doctorate in dental?
Yes, my end goal is to become an oral surgeon, so I have 8 to 10 years of school ahead of me.
Wow.
But yeah, so I do appreciate it and all the donors.
Well, we've got Lisa Williams from AFC Urgent Care here, so I'm sure you're really happy to hear that she's going into the medical field. Maybe she'll end up working for you someday. Right? Right? You never know. You never know. So now where are you going to college?
I'm doing my undergrad at Suffolk University in Boston.
Wow. Tough to get into, even tougher to stay in. So mom and dad is going to be writing a lot of big checks. So hopefully this will help out. Hopefully this will help out a little bit. I was reading through your bio, and it seems like you've done a lot of community service. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so I was a part of an organization called Skills USA throughout high school, which just advocated for career and technical education like Whittier. And with that came the opportunity to apply for the Presidential Volunteer Service Award, which is a certain amount of hours, like distinct from bronze, silver, and gold.
Mm-hmm.
And I, for the past 2 years, have received the Silver Presidential Volunteer Service Award through assisting at my grandmother's assisted living facility, and I've done work at my aunt's shop in Amesbury and stuff like that, just small ways to help out.
Oh, that's great. So when you get to Suffolk, do you have any idea on what kind of activities you want to get involved in and be joining any, like, field hockey teams or any stuff like that?
I wish I was athletic, but I am not.
Me neither.
But a club that I'm interested in joining is Best Buddies that the Patriots have actually helped with, which you go and help people that have different disabilities and stuff, and you become friends with them and do activities with them. So that's what I plan on
Best
joining.
Buddies is a great program. We had a number of kids that we've given scholarships to that were part of Big Buddies. And after they graduated college, then went out and actually volunteered their time to help the Big Buddy program. So that's awfully great. Why don't you hand the microphone back to mom and dad? What was it like having a daughter in a vocational school? Did that worry you guys, or because you guys went there, it wasn't so bad?
Oh, you went there.
Mom and dad. Dad.
I graduated from Whittier, so it was a no-brainer for me. I figured if you're going to get an education, you can still go to college, you can still further it, or if you decide not to, you already have a degree in hand, per se, and following your trade. I graduated from Whittier in electronics. I deal with electronics today for the Navy.
Oh, no kidding. Thank you, by the way, for that.
So, I mean, it was a no-brainer for me for her to go there. It just gives her more opportunity.
Oh, that's great. Well, we'll pass this over to Lisa. Lisa, thank you so much for. Lisa gave 2 $1,000 scholarships. This is one of the two $1,000 scholarships that AFC Urgent Care. Lisa, thank you so much for being here and for helping Lauren out.
I'm so happy to be here, and what a wonderful choice.
Yeah.
What a great kid.
Yeah. Thank you. Maybe she can help you do COVID after she graduates with her medical degree. You never know. It might still be around by then. Who knows? Right? So, Lisa, before you go, you're offering free testing at AFC Urgent Care still for COVID testing in Methuen and North Andover? In both locations, Methuen and North Andover?
Methuen.
In just Methuen. And do they have to call, or can they just show up?
They have to register online.
So that you go online, you register to get your COVID test, and do they tell you what time, or you just show up once you've registered?
You have to pick a time. In the
Oh,
time
okay.
slot. Yep.
All right, well, good. So it's kind of like cable. They'll tell you between 3 and 5, you got to be here. Make sure you're home, right?
Right.
So, well, Lisa, thank you so much. She's a frequent guest of the program. She, especially with COVID, she became our expert go-to person. Once everybody else was shut down, we were still doing a podcast with Lisa every week. It was great. So I appreciate that. Lisa, thank you so much. I appreciate your donation. I appreciate everything that you do for the kids that you don't let us talk about on the air. She does an awful lot, and I'll call her and say, I just heard you did this. Did you do this? She said, yes, but don't put it in the paper. I don't want any thanks. I just want to do it for the sake of doing it. So I thank you for doing that too, Lisa. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, Lauren, any final words before we let you go finish living out your life after the hour of hell that you've had to deal with sitting around here waiting for things to happen?
I just want to thank all the donors that have donated to my scholarship. I want to thank you for making this all available, and thank Sharon, who opened the scholarship to my eyes. So, yeah, those are the people I want to say thank you to.
Great. So Sharon's the one who told you that the scholarship was available?
Mm-hmm.
And, oh, well, great. So I appreciate that, because one of the difficult parts for me is once we get close to the bash and we've got all these donations coming in for each scholarship, is now we've got to pick a kid, and we've got to make sure that it's a kid that's going to show up. So so that's always very difficult. Now, one of the things that I liked about your nomination, when your nomination came in, apparently from Sharon, I didn't realize that it came in from Sharon, was that you are very friendly with State Senator Diana DeZoglio. Is that true? Is she here? Has she shown up yet? But her aide is here. Is it Lauren? Is your name Lauren too? Callie, I'm sorry. They sound exactly alike. Come on up. Come on up, Callie. Callie's got a presentation for you from Senator DeZoglio, who we thought was going to be here, but apparently can't make it. She still might, and if she does, we'll do pictures with her afterwards. We've never had this many people up here on stage like ever. So, hi, Callie.
Thank you.
So, did you want to give her the mic and just have her read? There you go. Thank you, Callie.
Thank you. So I have an official citation here on behalf of the Massachusetts State Senate. I love giving these citations, but this one's particularly special because I am also a Suffolk University student, so I'm happy to do it. Thank you. So I'll just read it here. It's very official. It says, be it known that the Massachusetts State Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Lauren Fitzgerald in recognition of receiving the 2020 Valley Patriot Whittier Tech Scholarship. And be it further known that a Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And at the bottom, it's signed by the President of the Senate, Karen Spilka, Clerk of the Senate, Michael Hurley, and of course, State Senator Diana DeZoglio. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Now, I know Diana would be here if she could. I know she's on her way. She's trying to make it. She actually called me and said, are you giving a scholarship to Lauren Fitzgerald? And I said, yeah, you want to kick in some money? She said, well, I'm going to be, because I hit everybody up. I mean, everybody. Even like my mailman shows up and I have to sign something. I'm like, hey, want to make a donation? So she said, I said, do you want to kick in some money? She says, well, I'm gonna do a presentation and I want to be there for her because she's a really nice kid. She really does like you, and she wanted to be here. So hopefully she will, so you can at least see her before you go. And I want to thank you. We'll all go in the front and we'll do. Did that work out well the first time? Just go in the front and do the pictures with Mom and Dad, and they're very proud. They seem very proud, right? They're like all the garbage we had to go through her teen years. Finally, she's graduating. Yeah, I'm projecting because that's what my parents said. That's exactly what they've said. Right? Great. So let's turn this over to Chris. Let's go down and get a quick picture, and then we will do the Cody Scholarship.
Okay, so where were we? So we were telling this of the story of basically how Tom got involved with the scholarships, and I think we left off with the student from Arizona State who is long since graduated by now and kept in touch with Tom, which was quite a pleasant surprise. It's something we weren't expecting at the time. So the following year, Tom said, well, I'm going to double what I gave. And that year, he gave $200 to a nursing student who went to UMass Lowell. And then the next year, it was $300. The following year, it was two $400 scholarships. And then he decided to change tact a little bit. He decided, since he has a pretty large Facebook following, what is it, Tom, about 12,000 people now? Or about 12,000 people from all over the Merrimack Valley in the United States, and actually over the world, and was looking to start other scholarships for other high schools because he enjoyed, and it was a rewarding experience to hear back from the students, because that's a pretty common theme here, and something, like I said, is very special, and we really enjoy that. So, like we said, we heard earlier about Al Valo, who started the scholarship for Whittier Tech. And then with the scholarships Tom was giving, originally it was for somebody going into journalism because he runs the Valley Patriot newspaper. And over time, that has evolved a little bit into a member of the JROTC at Lawrence High. And that scholarship grew when a man by the name of Eugene Smith, who is a 1958 grad of Lawrence High School, called up Tom and gave $1,000 towards the Valley Patriot Scholarship. And that has grown over the years, $1,100, $1,200, and this year, $1,300 towards the Lawrence High Scholarship. And then we moved to a North Andover Scholarship, which is basically somebody who went to the Thompson High School, right? Haverhill. And the Lawrence Tech School. I keep calling it the Vogue.
Me too, because I went to the Vogue, so I call it the Vogue. I'm going to just change the order here because we have Mayor Perry on the line via Zoom. Mayor Perry, are you with us, sir?
I am here.
Great, Mayor Perry. So why don't we call up Kerry and Zoe and your moms or dads if they're with you. So we've got a picture of Patricia Perry. Why don't we put that up because I want the mayor to talk a little bit about his mom. This is in honor of his mom. And by the way, I loved his mom. She loved the Valley Patriot. She's a very big fan. And we had a long talk on election night. And I loved hearing what she had to say because I love people who say they read my paper cover to cover. So I always quiz them and go, oh, yeah, do you like that cat column? Because we don't have a cat column. And she goes, you don't have a cat column. I'm like, see, she does read the paper. I'm glad to hear that. Neil, why don't you talk a little bit about your mom? Just tell people who she was and what she did.
So my mom was born in Methuen, raised in Methuen, and died in Methuen, unfortunately. And so she passed away early this year in March, right at the beginning of the COVID crisis. And I heard it was good to hear you talk about COVID, Tom. Thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah.
When Lisa Williams was up there.
Yeah.
So she was a lifelong Methuen resident, worked in business for a number of businesses, worked for the city for a while, worked for a real estate company, worked for state government for a little while too. Very active in the community, active in the Padre Pio Society, active in St. Monica's Parish, and a firm believer in the goodness of people in general. So always willing to give the shirt off her back to anybody who needed something, even when she wasn't the wealthiest of women. She would do anything. She raised 3 sons, one who died at 28. She was married to a Methuen police officer, my father, who retired as the deputy police chief of Methuen and then became the CCD director for St. Monica's Parish when he retired.
Nice.
A long history of everything in Methuen, a 1952 graduate of Searles Academy, and she loved this city.
Well, that's fantastic, and I appreciate you dropped off a check for each kid. So this is going to be all right. So let's have Kerry come sit with us here first. Kerry, you are. So we had a bunch of donations come in. Here's your checks. Here's your presentation. Here's your. There you go. And mom and dad are here. Good, because I can't see behind me. So tell us a little bit about your experience in high school and where you're going to college.
Well, my high school experience was made up with a lot of athletics. I feel like that's where I spent most of my time. I was a cheerleader for 4 years, and I also played softball for 4 years. I was on varsity for all 4 years. And I committed most of my time in high school to that, and I made a lot of friends through that. So I spent a lot of time hanging out with the friends I made through my sports, and I'm going to be attending Suffolk University.
Wow, another
Boston.
Suffolk kid,
yeah.
another Suffolk kid. They should be paying us.
I'm considering playing softball there, but I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm still deciding.
And do you know what you're going to major in?
I'm majoring in business.
In business?
Yes,
Wow.
the Sawyer Business School.
All right. Don't open a newspaper. I don't need any more competition than I already have.
Noted.
This scholarship, contributing to this scholarship, the Methuen Mayor Neil Perry gave us $2,000 for this scholarship. That we're going to split evenly. We also got donations. We got a $200 donation from Linda Susi, who runs Man Inc. in the Arlington neighborhood, the Methuen Arlington Neighborhood Association. Beverly Murata gave us $200 for this scholarship. Methuen Councilor Joel Ferretra gave $50 for this scholarship. Janet McLennan of McLennan Century 21, she's also a sponsor of this program and the Valley Patriot. So we love Century 21. If any of you guys want to buy or sell a house, please go to them because they help a lot of our people. We appreciate Matt and everybody over at Century 21. Your scholarship total for the day is $2,600. And if anybody at home would like to contribute to any of these scholarships, if you mail it to us at 75 Main Street, North Andover, make your check out to Valley Patriot Bash. We have a separate segregated account for this. And we've gotten all of the information for all of the students so that if a check comes in after today, we can get the money directly to them. And we will update online. We always thank everybody online so that even if somebody gives $5, we want them to know that their money, even if it's only $1, is going directly to the kids. That's one of the reasons why we thank everybody online. I know some people don't want to be thanked, but we really don't do it for you so much to say thank you. It's more to show people at home that every dollar that comes in is going directly to the student. Kerry, any final words before we go?
I just want to say I appreciate Mayor Perry giving me this scholarship in honor of his mother. I think it was very kind of him, and yeah, that's all.
Well, she's all choked up. Neil, do you hear that?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, she's choked up. Look, these kids. I have to tell you, all of these kids that we give scholarships to every year are very grateful. I heard Chris talking when I was down doing the picture. I get handwritten letters from kids every year. And it's usually not the kids we gave scholarships to that year. It's usually kids we gave scholarships to 4 years earlier, writing me a letter saying, I just graduated from college. We just got one from a kid the other day saying they graduated 2 years ago and they just landed their dream job and they wanted to thank all the donors at the Valley Patriot for helping to make that happen. So I appreciate everybody who gives to this scholarship. Not one penny goes anywhere else but directly to the student or the school. So we appreciate that. Where's Dad? Did Dad want to say a few words? You're gonna take the mic.
It's pretty cool. I actually went to Suffolk as well.
Oh, so. Another Suffolk guy. Very good. Very good. My sister went there.
So it'll be good to have her go to my alma mater, and hopefully she can continue the athletic tradition there.
Now, the requirement when you get a scholarship is you got to come back next year and help us present to the next kid. So next year we're going to have the Patricia Perry Memorial Scholarship, and we want you guys to come and help present it to like the next kid. And it's always good to have the crossover because the kids talk to each other in between, and and they learn like, hey, what did you do last year and all that stuff. So it's good to compare notes. It's great.
Yeah, no, this is great, Mayor Perry. Thank you very much, and it's going to it'll help with this tuition. Because Suffolk isn't as cheap as it was when I went there.
Right, that's true. And the fees and all that other stuff that just line up, on exactly. You. All right, why don't you, let's give Zoe a seat, and why don't you but stay here, don't leave. Thank you, Zoe. So, Zoe, we have some checks for you. Here's Neil Perry's check. Here's a check from us. And here's a check from Linda Susie with a nice little card. I'm sure it says like something really. I was going to open it to see what it said, but it didn't have my name on it, and I don't want to go to prison. And here's a certificate. Thanks to Maria Fiato. Normally we put those in a frame, but if you could find a frame, then otherwise call me. I'll get you a frame if you want. We'll give you this. So you graduating from Methuen High School. Talk a little about your high school experience first.
Well, like Kerry, I also did sports. I did cross country and indoor track and outdoor track, so I ran all 3 seasons.
How'd you do?
I was on varsity. I went to states every year, but yeah, I made a lot of friends through that too. Most of the people I hang out with are from running, so it's a great experience, getting in the sports while you can.
And where are you planning on going to college?
I'm going to UMass Lowell.
Wait, you're not Suffolk? Jeez, I'm taking that back. I don't know.
Wait a minute, that's my alma mater, so I'm okay with that.
Oh, you went there early, Mayor.
Yes.
Excellent. So, what are you planning on majoring in? What are you thinking of doing?
I'm majoring in criminal justice.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do with it yet.
Don't be a cop. I'm just, from a family of cops, I'm telling you, don't be a public safety consultant. Be one of these guys that audits police departments looking for corruption and stuff. But geez, it's such a tough job out there now today. I mean, there's so much anti-police violence and everything. We'd hate to see anything happen to you.
Yeah.
So you don't want to be a cop?
I mean, we'll see what happens.
I'm trying to talk her out of it for Dad, who's dead, for Mom. So you're graduating from Methuen High. Do you have any ideas what kind of activities you want to do in college?
I I think I might just focus on the schooling, just
Smart
because
kid.
it's a
Smart
big
kid.
difference from high school.
Stay away from all the athletics and all the clubs and all the political stuff, and just focus on your studies. Sounds great. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for coming. The total for this scholarship is $2,600, $1,300 each for each student, and this is the first year we're doing the Patricia Perry. Do we have that picture of Patricia that I sent you? Do we have that? And I just want to put this up. There's Miss Perry with Neil. I don't know if Neil can see it. I know he's on Zoom, but I'm not sure he can watch. But this is a picture that we took of Neil with his mom the night that he won, and she came over to me seconds after this picture was taken. Neil, I don't want to make you cry. She came over to me seconds after that picture was taken, and she said, "I am so proud of him. I am so proud of him." And she must have said it like 3 more times. So Neil, I know she's looking down at us, and I know she's up there with my dad, and I know that she's looking at this as something really amazing that you've done for her to keep her legacy going.
Thank you. And thank you. Congrats, Zoe and Kerry. You guys are well-deserving. Enjoy it and have a good time in college.
Now, you also said that you were going to invite them over for a pool party at your house. Did you say something like that?
That'd be interesting because I don't have a pool.
See how he is. See, he could have gone out and gotten a pool for today, but he chose not to. So, Mayor, thank you so much. I appreciate what you've done for these kids, and it is for the kids. It's not for us or politics or anything else. This is for the kids, and we appreciate you kicking in. He originally said he was going to do 1 scholarship, and then changed his mind and said he's going to do 2 scholarships. And it's really nice of you to do that in memory of your mom. I mean, you could have done a $500 scholarship like some other people did, but you really ramped it up, and we appreciate what you've done for the kids here, Mayor.
Thank you.
You can hang on too if you want to watch the rest of this. I know you're a very, very busy guy. How you feeling, by the way?
I'm feeling okay. I'm recovering well. Thank you for asking.
For those who don't know, Mayor Perry had surgery on his gallbladder on Friday. And we thought he'd be recovered enough to be here, but having had my gallbladder out, I knew he wasn't going to make it on a Monday.
Yeah.
It took me 4 days to stand up after mine.
Can I say what I find most impressive about this event?
Sure.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you smoking?
No, I'm drinking Coca-Cola.
Okay. If you're going through this event, you haven't smoked a cigarette, kudos to all those young ladies and gentlemen for going in that studio and getting you not to smoke. So good job.
Nope, I haven't had a cigarette since we started this, and now we just want to kick everybody out so I can have a cigarette. But we're not going to do that. We'll keep going.
Congrats, everybody. Take care.
All right, and tell Jana I said hi.
I will.
All
right, take care.
Jana, it's Jana. All right, so we appreciate Zoe and Carrie. I appreciate both of you being here and bringing your mom and bringing your dad, bringing your mom and your dad. Anything else? Does mom want to say anything at all? Koi Pond lady, by the way, she has an oasis in her backyard in Lawrence. You'd never know you were in Lawrence. You go in the back and she's got this beautiful koi pond and all these big trees.
I'm just very, very proud of my daughter. She's worked hard and she reaches for the stars, highest honors. And she's going to do great.
Awesome. Thank you, Mom. Thank you very much. Any final words, Zoe? She's all choked up too, Mayor. She's all choked up.
I just wanted to say thank you to Mayor Perry and also along with all the other donors. I really, really, really appreciate it.
All right, and hopefully you guys can come. It's usually the 3rd week in March, and then hopefully next year you can come, and you guys can help us present to next year's Patricia Perry Memorial Scholarship winner. Is that okay? Is that a deal with you guys? Yeah?
Sounds good.
Let's get on and get some pictures. We'll turn this over to Chris. We'll get a couple of pictures real quick, and then we'll have Anna come up after that.
Okay, so we talked about Tom giving all the scholarships. So usually when we're in the year of not COVID, which is a word I'm certainly tired of saying or hearing, we do it at the Bash. So every year, the Valley Patriot has what Tom calls the Bash. And that's held in March, and around the anniversary of his father. And he brings in people who enjoy the Valley Patriot paper, people who are buying tickets to give to the community knowing that's where a lot of the funds go. There is a raffle there and a 50-50 that also raises money from these scholarships, which unfortunately we did not have this year. But a lot of times people will ask me about the bash and they're not sure about it for some reason and are nervous about coming. But I can tell you it's a great event and it's also very welcoming. Tom with his newspaper is really not a censor as we live in what we're seeing with cancel culture now. Tom is open to varied opinions. Tom has a Christian columnist that at one time, and she's coming back, right? A lesbian columnist, right?
Yep.
So he is open to all different points of view and whatever, and that's the way the bash is. It's
very diverse.
Very diverse. Local notables come, right, and show up, and it's really a great time. We have a lot of great speakers come and show. We've had the band Prospect Hill twice show up, play acoustically, which was a big hit. Brittany Baldy from Methuen, right? We just had Methuen High.
MTV.
Yep, she was on MTV. She started off on a show called Are You the One? And then she was on The Challenge. And then for a while, I don't think she's doing it now, she was writing for the Boston Herald, right? We had Steve Blackwood from
Days of Our Lives. Yeah.
I've never watched it, Tom.
I used to watch Days of Our Lives when I was a kid. My grandmother used to watch it, so I used to watch it, and I remember Steve Blackwood. So out of the blue, 3 years ago, he calls me up and says, "You Tom Duggan?" He goes, "Steve Blackwood." I don't know what Steve Blackwood. I'm like, "Who?" He says, "Steve Blackwood." I'm like, "Well, who's Steve Blackwood?" He said, "From Days of Our Lives." I said, "Get out of here!" Once he said "From Days of Our Lives," I knew him and the character. I said, "Get out of here!" He said, "No, we just moved to Newburyport, and we're watching your charity event, and I want to come and I want to sing, and maybe you can use my fame, my popularity to try and bring people in, so you can promote that I'm going to be there. I want to come help you guys out raise some money." And he did. He came. He sang the first year. He gave something. I think he gave like something to all of the scholarship winners. And I told him, I said, "Listen, you got a lot of famous friends. Bring them next year." So the following year, he brought a couple of other people that he knew that were famous actors, and it just kind of grew from there. It was a lot of local people who are very famous, and we always try to rope them in because they're always looking to do something for the community but don't know what to do. So we've got the structure of the scholarships, and that always helps out. Brittany, you've been very quiet. Do you have anything to say at all before we go to our next one? This is going to be our last one, right? This is because Lawrence isn't here yet?
Not yet.
All right, we're waiting on Lawrence High School. I don't know what happened. And I was very excited about that because she's junior ROTC and she's going off to fight for her country, and I really wanted her here. And what time do we have? Oh, it's 1:20. Well, they may still come. Anna, why don't you come up with your family and any donors to the Cody Scholarship who are here. Let me take a quick look at who might be here. 1, 2, 3. Very good. So the good thing about this scholarship is I don't have to give you a bunch of different little checks from everybody contributing. We got lucky on this scholarship that everybody that pledged money gave their money before we shut everything down. So we give one big check we're going to give you, and this is actually our biggest check to date. You get the most today. So Maria always yells at me and says, "Don't say publicly the amount because some kids get less than other kids and they'll feel bad." And I said, "Listen, we give what people donate. So I mean, if they feel bad, if somebody feels bad, kick in more money. Have their parents kick something in if they want." This is the largest one. It's $2,580 for your college scholarship.
Thank you.
And a little certificate that we made with, I don't know if you can see this, but Maria Fiato was on our bash committee. She put certificates together for every kid, but on this one she actually put a Cody tow truck because this is in the name of Dan Cody. So I want to give you this, and I want to give you the check, and I just want to talk a little bit about who Dan Cody was. So I think it was 3 years now, but I always get my times off because I don't sleep much. But I think it was 3 years ago. I think we've just went by the 3-year anniversary. I was chasing police calls. I was live on Facebook chasing police calls in Lawrence. We had the scanner on. And we were on our way to a shooting in the Hancock projects when we heard the state police come on, and the state police officer was frantic. And if you listen to police scanners, you tell all police officers sound the same. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's like car 15, there's 36 people dead here at a fire. Please send backup. So that's usually how they talk, no matter what the emergency is. But this state trooper went on, and he was frantic, and he was frantically calling for backup and multiple ambulances because Dan Cody, who was on the side of the road with the state trooper, was hooking up a car that he had pulled over, and a drunk driver swerved over into the breakdown lane and hit him and killed him. And it was very harrowing to listen to that as it was going on live, as he's calling, begging for help on the radio. And we knew the Cody family. I didn't know Dan Cody. I'm not going to pretend that I did. I saw him once in a while to say hi, but I didn't really know him. But we know the Cody family, and they've always gone above and beyond to help the community, whether it's helping the homeless, whether it's helping people in need. Frank Cody and his family have always quietly given to the community and not asked for thanks. So, Al Velo, are you still with us?
I am there. I'm here.
So my buddy Al Velo, once again, who started our Whittier Scholarship, right after Dan died, showed up at my office and said what?
Well, essentially, my son Jax went to Thompson School. Evan, who was Dan's son, was friends with my son, and I just said we need to do something for him. We need to do something. As a father, I could never imagine a son losing his dad so young in life. We need to do something. So that was it. I mean, that was pretty much the rest is history. I said, what can you do, Tom? Can we start something? And you graciously did for us.
Yeah,
I appreciate everything you've done.
So Dan, so Al immediately wrote a check for $500 right there on the spot, and said, "I know the bash is in like a week. Can we make this happen?" And we did. We gave out our first Dan Cody Scholarship. I think this is our third Dan Cody Scholarship. And I did get a call, before I read the donors, I did get a call from a member of the Cody family, and they said, I think the Codys are a little upset because you didn't coordinate with them to do the scholarship, and they want to know like what is it that you're doing. They want to be involved. And so I went down and I talked to Frank Cody down at Cody's Towing and explained to him that we purposely didn't go to the family. We didn't want the family to have to kick in money for this scholarship to honor Dan. We wanted the community to respond. We wanted people outside the family to give to this scholarship. And so I went to Frank and I said, listen, it was not out of disrespect. It was actually out of respect that we didn't come to you. We didn't want you to feel like you had to kick in. We didn't want you to feel like we were doing this scholarship so you would give money. We want the community to respond and have the community to give money. So they understood. And by the way, we had 11 Cody family members who were supposed to be here today, but Frank lost another brother on Friday, and so they're doing preparation now for another funeral in the Cody family. They've had a lot of bad luck the last few years. So please keep them in your prayers. And before I give you a chance to talk, I know I'm droning, but it is what I do. We had a number of donations for this scholarship, and I'm just going to go through them real quickly. Maureen Connell Schaffenville gave $100. Ken DeLuca, who just left, I think, right? He's not here anymore. Ken just left. He gave $100. Al Velo, who's on the line, gave $500. Ed Sullivan, my former producer before I got him fired, gave $200. Greg Morris, formerly of the Lawrence School Committee, gave $100. Gail Linton gave $65. Frank Quintana from Quintana Supplies gave us $100. Rick Belantia, a free DJ at the Bash every year, gave us $100. Mark DeSalvo, the town moderator of North Andover, gave us $100 the minute he found out it was a Thompson School kid. He called and said, Thompson School kid, I'm definitely in. Adrian Santana gave us $600, believe it or not. We have another Gail Linton for $65. She must have given twice. Catherine Izzy for $300. Joyce Mullen gave us $100. And then we had a second poker tournament, and we raised $150 for this scholarship, bringing this scholarship to $2,580. I think that's our biggest one this year. Anna, talk to us a little bit about what it was like at Thompson School, and you're graduating from North Andover High School right now?
Yep.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was great. It was amazing. I met some of my lifelong friends there, and we did so much for the community. Thank you.
Pull it close.
We cleaned up the schoolyard there, and we had fundraisers. Fuel Up to Play 360. That was one. So yeah.
Oh, great. And I understand you're very involved in the community service. Talk a little about some of the things you volunteered for.
Yep. So every spring we I help out at a Challenger Division, which is a baseball team for kids with disabilities. So they have an opportunity to play. So I'd be a buddy for someone with a disability and help him to play baseball.
Oh, that's nice.
Mm.
That's nice. Where are you going to college?
The University of New England.
Not Suffolk? I don't know. So you're going to University of New England?
Yeah.
And where is that located?
Biddeford, Maine.
Okay, so you're going to be going away. Not really that far away, like close enough for mom and dad to come check up on you though once in a while, right? Yeah. And what are you going to take?
Physical therapy.
Oh, that's nice. So you're going to be helping people recover from injuries.
Mhm.
So this is a great scholarship for you. You went to Thompson School, and Al wanted to make sure that this went to somebody who graduated from Thompson, which is great because my kids went to Thompson. And Dan Cody's kids also went to Thompson School. So what we're hoping to do with this scholarship is when Dan Cody's kids graduate, and the reason why Al wanted to keep this going every year, that when Dan Cody's kids graduate in about 3 or 4 years, that they get this scholarship. So we're hoping that you guys will come back each year to help us do the presentation of this scholarship, because the year that his son graduates is going to be really nice to have him up there. And I think he was in in 7th grade when Dan died. I think like 6th or 7th. Don't hold me to it though. Dad, why don't we pass this back to Dad? How proud are you of your daughter? She went to Thompson School. She's graduating from North Andover High, and now she's going off to a 4-year college.
I wish it was 4 years, but she decided she wants to get her doctorate, so she'll be there. We'll be paying for 6 years.
Oh,
so
for 6 years.
So
Wow.
this really comes in handy, and we really appreciate receiving this award on behalf of Dan Cody. I'm confident that the young woman that Anna has developed into will represent his legacy the right way, and so we're very appreciative and thankful.
We're going to keep an eye on her too, by the way. We keep an eye on all our scholarship kids. I try to either friend them on Facebook or follow them on Facebook so I can keep an eye on what are they up to these days, what are they doing, make sure that most of them are doing pretty good. So we got high hopes for you, Anna. How about Mom? Anything, Mom?
Just want to say I'm really proud of you, Anna,
Aw.
and all your hard work, and very appreciative to everyone, all the donors, and thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. All right. Any final words, Anna, before we do pictures and
Just
wrap this
thank
up?
you so much to the Cody family, and thank you for everyone who donated.
All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, why don't we put this down? I'll come up front. We'll do a quick picture, and we'll let Chris just fill time, or Brenda if she wants. I haven't heard Brenda say too much.
Chris is
I
doing
guess
well.
it's me. Oh, okay. So we're talking about the bash. So, like I said, it's held in March. So hopefully you can come back in March. It's usually a Friday night, I believe. Yep. So there's a meal. It used to be catered. We want to mention Keith Wataka, who is a member of the bash committee. He supplied the food, cooked all the food, prepared all the food, brought all the food, served all the food, and he did that for years. And he's a great guy. He owns what is it called? The Daily Dose Cafe in Pentucket Medical, off of Merrimack Street, right in the right across from the Sal's building. Yeah. And for the last few years, Salvatore's, the restaurant, is there. They have been supplying the food. So the food, either if it was Keith or Salvatore's, the food is terrific. We also have a local singer who is very good that comes to the bash each year, which is Melvin Taylor, who you heard earlier doing the Paying Attention song. He's terrific if you ever get a chance to hear him. I just found his albums on Spotify the other day. So
It's good stuff.
He's terrific.
And he wrote that song at the beginning of the show for the show, which is great because when we first started the podcast, Facebook kicked us off and said, no, that's licensed music. You can't use it. And I'm like, yeah, but it's licensed to us. He wrote the song for us, for the show. And we put in an appeal, and Facebook finally overturned it. We don't have the Lawrence High School's scholarship kid is not here. However, we do have on the line, we have Jessica Finicaro, member of the Methuen City Council, and also a former member of the Greater Lawrence Technical School Board. And I think we also have our Greater Lawrence Tech Scholarship winner on the line as well. So can we pull them up? Is that possible to pull them both up? And let's just introduce Jessica to talk a little bit about this scholarship. Jess, thank you so much for joining us.
Hey guys, thank you so much for having me here. The scholarship winner is such a great kid. Her name is Elia Leclerc, and she's a Greater Lawrence technical student, and she's from Methuen. And just a little bit about her, she's the daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Damian Leclerc of Methuen, and she's studying in the biotechnology career program. And, you know, she's just a really stellar student. She so deserves this. She has a 4.29 GPA.
Wow.
She was ranked 6th out of her class of 372 students who all do really well. So it's very competitive. And, you know, she's enrolled in AP Physics. You know, she's enrolled in dual enrollments, English and History through Middlesex Community College. She was a member of the Honor Society. She was awarded the Ressener Polytechnic Institute Book Award as a junior. She has the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship due to her really great performance on the Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment exams. And she really gives back to the community in so many different ways. She volunteers at the school and outside of the school at the Marsh Corner Community Church. She's just like a stellar student. This is the 6th annual scholarship for Greater Lawrence Tech, and I'm really proud that she is our student.
Well, listen, I'm very proud that despite the fact that we don't agree politically sometimes, well, listen, you laugh, but there's a lot of people who can't put stuff aside. And when you disagree with them, suddenly they're not coming to the bash. They don't want to participate, whatever, because they're mad. They don't like what you said about them. And, you know, they don't like what I said about them in the newspaper, or I criticized something they said at a meeting. And you were willing to put that aside and help us again this year. And I think that, you know, whatever our disagreements might be, that says an awful lot for you, Jess. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Tom. And that's absolutely right. What's most important is the students. And, you know, that is such a great school, Greater Lawrence Technical School. And we actually have not only Aaliyah, but also Tim Cusack, who is a guidance counselor from Greater Lawrence Tech. He's on the line as well. And it's just a fabulous school, and they deserve to have this continuing annual scholarship. So I'm proud to be a part of it.
Do we have the student on the line? Is it Aaliyah or Isla?
Hello. Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Hi. My name is pronounced Aaliyah.
Aaliyah, okay.
It's so wonderful to technically be here. I couldn't make it in person, but I'm just so appreciative to be a recipient of a Valley Patriot Scholarship. It means so much to me.
Donating to this scholarship. Now, by the way, Jess, the reason there is a Greater Lawrence Tech Scholarship is because Jess came to me. What did you say? This is our 6th year, Jess?
Yes.
So Jess came to me 6 years ago and said, you know, you give a scholarship to Lawrence High. What about the Voc? And I said, well, they're Voc kids. They're not going to college. They're going into carpentry and electrician and plumbing. And she said, Tom, you went to the Voc. You know better than that. You know a lot of these kids go to college. And because they're Voc kids, most people don't give to college scholarships for these kids. And she scolded me. I think it was my first Jessica scolding that I got. And when I walked away, I said, you know what? She's right. So we put out a call and we asked a bunch of people if they could give, and they did. This year, giving to this scholarship once again, $1,000 from Laborers Union Local 175 President Mike Gagliardi, who's been an advertiser and supporter of the Valley Patriot since 2004 when we started the paper. $100 donation from Jessica, Christine Prescott, who graduated from the Voc. We still call it the Voc, not the Tech, because when I went there, that's what we called it. She gave $100. Lisa Williams, who I think is still here, right? And she eating in the back. Lisa Williams gave from AFC Urgent Care, gave another $1,000. We got $100 from Merrimack Valley ASAP, which is I think that stands for it's Substance Abuse Prevention Association of Substance Abuse Prevention.
Yeah, Merrimack Valley Substance Abuse Project. I helped participate in that.
Oh, you did? Well,
yeah.
Then Phil Leahy and Cole Welch will be very happy to know that their $100 donation went to somebody who's been helping them. And we got another $100 donation from Frank Quintana of Quintana Building Supplies up in New Hampshire. He used to be in Haverhill, now he's moved up into New Hampshire. And he doesn't even really need to market around here because most of his customers come from New Hampshire. But he gives every year because he cares, and he graduated from the Vogue, so he wanted the tech. So he wanted to make sure that he gave. So your total scholarship, once we can get it to you, because I don't know how to hand it to you through the computer.
Yeah, it's a little difficult.
But Jessica's going to coordinate getting you the scholarship within the next week. So your total scholarship is going to be $2,400. How about that?
I just want to say thank you so much to all of the people that donated. Thank you, Jessica. I also want to thank Mr. Cusack for letting me know that I got this. And I also remember one day I was in my room and my parents called me outside and they were like, Aaliyah, look at this. And I was like, what is it? And they showed me a Facebook post, and Jessica had written my bio on Facebook. And oh my goodness, I couldn't even begin to describe how much that means to me because it was just so special and so nice to see someone actually say that what I'm doing is good, you know? It means a lot. Not just hearing your parents say, like, you're doing good, you know?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to hear it from people in the community, right?
Yeah.
So,
It just means
sorry, there's an overlap. So tell us where you're going to school and what you're going to be taking, Aaliyah.
I'm going to Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in the fall. I'm doing it remotely. And I was originally going to be taking astronomy, but I changed my major to environmental science in order to pursue an astrobiology career.
Gee, I mean, we're getting kids like this. That's incredible. That's incredible. That's incredible. Two kids getting their doctorate. You're going into astrophysics. This is craziness.
Yeah. And I love that you mentioned the whole stereotype about kids going to tech schools to only go into industry, not to college. That's a really important misconception to address and to let people know that not all kids going to tech schools are just going to industry. There are people going to college, and I think that that's very important to acknowledge because a lot of people look down upon tech schools because of that.
Right. Right. Well, you can thank Jessica Finicaro because she's the one that came to me 6 years ago and kicked me in the pants and said, hey, how come you have a Lawrence High Scholarship? You went to the Vogue, Tom. Why isn't there a Vogue Scholarship? So you can thank Jessica that this scholarship even exists. And every year, because she sat in the school committee, Jessica has coordinated getting us the student, doing the presentation, which takes a lot of work off of me when we're trying to organize a bash. So, Jessica, thank you for that.
No problem.
Now, the thing is, Aaliyah, because you couldn't be here, we're going to have to ask you, as part of this scholarship, if you can be at the bash next year to help present to the next kid.
Yeah, definitely. As long as I can plan ahead. Since my college is in New York, I can definitely, if I know the date in advance, I could definitely come back. Yeah, I would love to be part of it.
It's usually the third Friday in March, but we will track you down and make sure you're there. If we have to come kidnap you and drag you into the room, we will.
I mean, you gotta do, so.
Right. Well, we couldn't get you here, and I really wanted to have you here so we could at least give you a check, but we will send it. Jessica will coordinate, and we'll get you that check. Do you have any final words at all to maybe your mom and dad or anything?
My parents aren't here right now. My dad's at work. My mom's unavailable. But I just want to once again thank all the people that donated. My teachers, my parents, Jessica, of course, you guys. It just all means so much to me, and I just want to thank you again.
And does your guidance counselor want to say anything before we go? I know he's on the line, and maybe he wanted to say a few words.
I would. Tom, thank you for everything you do for the communities around not only Methuen, but also Lawrence. And Jessica, our city councilor, thank you very much for being such a supporter of Greater Lawrence Tech and a supporter of our outstanding students over the last 6 years. They've been outstanding students every year, and I think Aaliyah is an outstanding example of what we bring to the community. Thank you for all you folks and all you do.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. But don't thank me. Thank the donors, because, again, I'm too poor to give to any of these scholarships. I'm lucky I can pay my electric bill. But all of my friends have money, so I rope them all in, and I make them give money, and I'm just kind of the guy that puts it together. But thank you very much, Aaliyah. We hope to see you at the next bash. Please get in touch with us in between, though, so we can get you a check. And we want to keep tabs on you, too. We want to make sure that, who knows, maybe in your sophomore year, you're short $100 for books. We can use money from our next year's raffle or something to help. We've had a couple of kids that we gave scholarships to that reached out to us while they were in college and asked if there was any kind of extra stuff that they could get because they were having a hard time paying for books. And so we have several revenue streams that we have for the bash every year. We have door money, 50-50 money, raffle money, and people that just kind of give at the end, and they say give it to whatever you think is important. And so we always try to help the kids out that way too. So please keep in touch with us just in case you need anything.
I will. Thank you again.
All right. Thank you, Aaliyah. Thank you, Jessica. We appreciate having you here. And thank you to, I'm sorry, I didn't get your name, the guidance counselor.
Jim Cusack.
Jim Cusack. Thank you, very much, Mr. Cusack. And
thank you.
And thank
Thanks,
you,
Jessica.
All right. Thank you. All
Thanks,
right.
Tom.
Thank you. So, all right. So we have one other scholarship student who is not here. Ben, maybe we can bring her picture up, and I'm just going to give a couple of words about Camilla. Let's see, UMass, well, okay, yeah, very good, yep. So this is, what you're seeing on your screen, this is Camilla Herrera. She's a junior ROTC student. She has a, I don't have her bio with me, they were supposed to bring it with her, but I understand she's got a very high GPA. She is going into the military to defend our country, which we really appreciate. A big thank you to Eugene Smith, who donated $1,300 for this scholarship this year. And Eugene actually started this scholarship. We were giving to a Lawrence High kid, and then I would call Chris, who's on the Lawrence High Alumni Association, and say, okay, how many scholarships is Lawrence High Alumni giving out this year? And he'd look and he'd go, 112. And I'd say, okay, give me the kid that's 113, the kid that would have got a scholarship if there was one more. And that's how we used to give the scholarship out until Eugene came along and said, no, why don't we give this scholarship to a kid that's going to be defending the country? And he owns a nonprofit called Military Connections. He's a Korean War veteran. And he gave us $1,000 last year, $1,000 the year before, $1,000 the year before that. And this year he kicked it up to $1,300, so we appreciate him. Ben Kitchen, my fine producer, gave us a check for $50 for this scholarship. The Lawrence High School Alumni Association also kicked in $500 for this scholarship. Wendy Gardner gave us a check for $20. Attorney Paul Lambert, a good friend of ours and a sponsor of this show, and the Valley Patriot, gave us $500. Jim DiNuccio, all the way from Florida, kicked in $100 for this scholarship because he is an alumni. 1982, yeah. See, he's got it off the top of his head. He knows when everyone graduated. And Paul Dunphy, who I also understand is a Lawrence High graduate. When did he graduate?
No idea.
Just supposed to just make it up and sound important.
1972, Tom.
1972, there you go. And he gave $20. So this scholarship, which when we started like a week ago, when we started trying to put this event together, this kid was at $600. And so now our final total is $2,490 for Camilla Herrera. We will try to get this to her in hand over the next week. And I think I made a mistake, so I just want to clarify. I think when Anna Bono was up here, I said she got the most, $2,580. But as I looked, the Perry Scholarship beat it by $20, $2,600 for the Perry Scholarship. So overall today, guys, we just gave out in the hour that we've been on the air, what usually takes us 4 hours at the bash to do.
I know. This is amazing.
Oh, remember that next year.
We gave out a total today, $13,805 from donors in the community who care about these kids going on to college and furthering their education and bettering themselves. So can we have a round of applause to everybody who donated to the scholarship?
And Tom, am I wrong? Were we at about $9,000 on Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, we were at like $8,900 on Wednesday or Thursday last week.
So $4,000 plus or minus has come in since Thursday.
Yep, and that's thanks to people like Lisa Williams at AFC Urgent Care, and a lot of the Methuen Mayor Neil Perry who gave, and all the people who give in some way or another. You know, a lot of people can't give to scholarships, so they'll come to the bash and they'll do something, to try and help out. No, we're not going to do that. Okay. Sorry. So I don't know. How do we wrap this up? Like, I didn't even have an ending for this. We just go, or what do we do? Oh, all right.
There we go.
The producer's
when
always
the music plays.
He's always got an answer. This is the Paying Attention podcast. We want to thank all of our sponsors of the show. Show sponsors every week are JG's Ice Cream. I'm trying to pull it up while I'm talking real quick, right? JG's Ice Cream, McLennan and Company, Century 21. Where is it? Okay, here. Ron Marsade and Son Construction, the Methuen Police Superior Officers Union, Horizon Home Care, Karen Ferrulo, we love her. Climate Design Systems. If you have an issue with your climate design situation with COVID, call Nina over Climate Design Systems. Borelli's Deli, which is where I'm going after this to go get some food. Also, and JG's Ice Cream, I think we said them. A big shout out to Connie at Romano's Pizza and Subs and More in Methuen and Lawrence. We called her this morning and said we need food for this event. And you guys don't open till 11. Is there any way you can make this work? And she coordinated with Nancy and made it work. So thank you. Thank you to everybody on the Bash committee. Thank you everybody who's here, and hopefully we'll see you all at the next Bash. Melvin Taylor says we got to go home already, so I guess we've got to go home. And now I can have a cigarette finally. Oh.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.